Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there, live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny San Diego, California. Big Biz Show's on the air. Great to have along today Mike Costa, our co-host, Mary Burt Godwin, our co-host, and Greg Todoroff, our executive producer. And let's say hi to the DTC.
Yes, the
DTQ.
quad. We got Quattro.
Woo! Great to have you back, Mark Hattersley. Grandpa Hattersley, Gramps Hattersley, as they like to call him.
Gramps.
Can I, before we start the program, what in the actual hell is going on over with you two? Okay, so Devin, oh my God, does this look like?
Oh, these two.
Does this look like?
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Like what could go wrong?
It looks like Siegfried.
Hey, first of all, Howie Font, who is clearly the adult in the room, all the time, looks like right now that he was in. What's the movie with about the weed, Pineapple Express?
Oh yeah.
Get over here, you guys, both of you guys. Mike, I'm going to have you. Just hold the mic up for these guys. They're not Mike, but.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, just stand. You guys, just stand right here.
What's the blazer have?
Stand right here. Okay.
The blazer, you said?
No, just hold, just hang on a second. What in the God's name is going on with you? Like, what's your story with Mr. Florida? I know you went to FSU, but what do you look like you live at Devin?
That's no excuse.
Why do you look like you live at Devin's apartment?
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot's happened in the last 24 hours. I couldn't deal with his face. If you noticed, there's been some changes.
He shaved my face. He took my hand in my own body and shaved my face. We actually have some special stuff coming up for the Big Biz Show that'll explain this monstrosity.
So is this part of Devin and I'm sorry, Howie and Dylan, Devin and Howie, Howie and Dylan, Devin, Howie. What's part of your?
Kumar?
Yes, that one.
You guys need to have a channel.
Is this something happening to you too? Because I've been, it's been a rough 24 hours for me. I haven't looked like this since, well, never.
Well,
This is the most I've seen Greg talk this entire time, though. You know?
So, do we have more to look forward to?
Yeah, we got a couple things to look forward to. Apparently, he fired Howie this week, so we're gonna go down and see how that went down at the beach.
That would have been our Emmy Award-winning director, Jared Coleman, that would do that. Jared, say hello. Are you comfortable seeing Howie?
We don't need to talk to Jared anymore. My pink slip was enough. I'm done. Thank you very much. I don't know why I'm here actually.
I just
Like your last job.
go forward and
Go forward. All right, so look out for more Devin and Howie Do America.
Ooh.
Oh, I like
You guys need a channel. I'm telling you right now.
Big time.
Now I'm stuck. I have no more options without a job. This is all I have to do.
Royalty.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you anymore, so I just muted you. Take the mic back. Here you go. Howie and Devin, thank you, folks. Oh my God, jeez.
They can make money on YouTube.
I mean, when you walk in like that.
No, I've never seen him undressed.
Okay, that was.
What I'm saying is,
You're saying that like that's
Thankfully.
the thing that, well, I should have seen him undressed by now. Is that what's going on in this organization?
you like movies about gladiators? No, I've never seen him without his sports coat.
A great reference to the movie Airplane in 1975.
Never spend any time in a turkey.
Oh, God.
You know, speaking of old movies, I feel so old when I'm talking to people like Devin and Howie
Oh my God.
about our time that we spent in record stores.
Oh,
Do you remember record stores?
I love records.
Do you guys recall going? No, I'm not talking Lose Records. I'm talking about Warehouse, Tower Records. Were you guys old enough to remember to go to the record stores? You? Probably not, Howie.
Is that how you listen to that late 1900s music?
Yes, late 1900s. Yeah, the classical music was all sold in record stores.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, I understand that the music business is more democratic now. More people have access to more artists and stuff. For me, I liked when you walk into a record store.
Yes.
Okay? And you walk into the record store, and first of all, there was a section that was dedicated to stuff from last year that was on sale, and then you went section by section. You could spend 3 hours in a record store.
Yep.
And even when we were growing up, they didn't have the turntables in the booths like they had in the 50s. You could listen to stuff.
No.
You could just roll through it and spend 3 hours.
Yeah.
Do you lament that? Do you ever miss it?
That was a night out with my dad. He would take me every week or so because he loved music and I did.
Awesome.
And we'd spend time. We weren't together, but then we would just come with our records and be like, "What'd you get?" and talk about it. It was like
Much more to come. I want to talk about this for a second.
Yep.
Because Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at SullyCrew.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there, live at the Loft 100 Studios. Costa.
Yep.
Bert Godwin. Or is it Godwin?
BG, Mary BG.
Totally. MBG. MBG. MBG.
Notorious MBG.
That's right. Notorious MBG. Wow.
Hey.
Look at this. Greg Todoroff, you okay?
I'm okay.
You have to pee?
No.
You feel like you have to?
Do I look like I
I feel like you have to pee.
Is there a look
when Greg
that
says
I
like
have?
this, he goes, I'm fine.
You got to use the facilities?
We did not say hi to the DTQ over there. D, Trader Quattro. The Qua. James, you, coming from a very, very musical family, you yourself playing with Eric Clapton, and who's the other guy? You have a big one. You had a big name. The guy that.
With Sergio Mendes?
Sergio Mendes, yeah. Oh my God.
Lionel Richie?
Lionel Richie, yeah. There you go. And Brian playing with Dave Matthews and James Brown, as well as Lauryn Hill, and these two other characters who just started taking lessons last week, Trace Sojourn Hodges and Mark Haddish. Do you guys have been musicians your entire lives? Mark excluded. Mark and I are the only two people in the band that live bifurcated lives. But all of you that are musicians for a living, did you guys, as being on stage guys, did you also go to record stores back in the day? Did you enjoy that? Was that as important to you as it was to us?
Oh yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do you miss that?
Yes.
Somewhat, yes.
See, because if I go into Lou's Records here in San Diego, it's just not the same.
Right.
I feel like I'm a burnout, because Lou's Records was always there with all the deep track stuff, and you had to be really one of those. See, I was a geek guy. My buddy Randy and I were geeks about knowing who the musicians were. So in other words, I knew of Nathan East, your brother, back when I was 25 years old. Mm-hmm. I knew that he wrote Easy Lover with Phil Collins, and Earth, Wind and Fire guy. Phil Bailey. Yeah. I knew of your brother before I knew you. I knew that, for example, Arnold McCuller, great vocalist, was one of James Taylor's band. I knew those types of things, but I wasn't the guy that went to the record store, those types of record stores. I went into Warehouse. I went into Tower Records. Do you guys ever remember a record store called Licorice Pizza?
Absolutely.
Do you remember Licorice Pizza?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
I'm surprised because I thought Licorice Pizza went out of business way before you were born. So for me, I just thought my experience was start here, right?
Cut your hands on the cardboard as you're flipping through it. You get paper cuts.
Well, remember they had and I was always, were you a guy? I know James and I are the same guy in this.
I've always been a guy.
If I saw something misfiled, I'm going to file it for him.
Oh.
Really?
Me and James are.
I would never do it.
Oh, yeah, but me and James are so OCD about that stuff.
It's just
he and I are the same person on that. So What was your experience? Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's something to be said, though, for being able to listen to whatever you want, whenever you want.
I'm not saying that's exactly right.
And discover new artists, because Spotify algorithm will introduce me to all sorts of new music that I wouldn't have caught going through all that.
Well, but I said, and I'm not suggesting that's not the case. The accessibility of music is one thing, but why do you have to get rid of the record store? I mean, as Christian, our sound engineer, said, vinyl's making a comeback. We produced a vinyl album.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and I know. And listen, I have a record player again because it's kind of fun, but I have this many albums before.
Again.
I had this many albums on 4.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Well, Greg and I were talking in the break, and Greg brought up a really great point about album art. Remember, you would just sit there and just look at and I brought up Queen's News of the World with the robot killing them and stuff like that. Yep. You mentioned Earth, Wind, and Fire.
What was your favorite record? Yeah, remember the album? Remember the album on Earth, Wind? I mean, album cover on Boston.
Oh yeah.
Remember, remember that stuff?
Spaceship.
Or I saw Pink Floyd Off the Wall.
What's Pyromania?
Steve Miller's Horse.
Yeah. What was your favorite records for?
The tower across from
Sports
Arena. You go
next to Foggy's Notion.
Next Foggy's Notion. You go to a concert, like I don't want to go in there early. Let's go over to Tower Records and just look at stuff.
So there was a hierarchy of records. So there was the cool record shop, was the Licorice Pizza in Pacific Beach. That I'm going to Licorice Pizza. That was kind of it wasn't bougie.
No.
It was kind of cool though, because it wasn't Warehouse. Now there was the Warehouse, which was basically the Vons, the Ralphs, the Costco,
right?
Yeah. Which was fine. I enjoyed that. But Tower Records was that place where the musicians went, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Am I accurate?
That's a fact.
Yeah. See, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So the session musicians all go to Tower Records. I think Tower Records was the first place that had tobacco paraphernalia. I think they had in the case called tobacco paraphernalia.
Blacklight posters.
Tower Records. Was for your cigarettes?
Of course.
Okay. You can roll your own,
way too well.
You can roll your own cigarettes. But here's the thing: is I wonder, sincerely, what would happen to the record business if they brought back vinyl anyway? And what's interesting is a couple things that I'm learning, and I don't pretend to be a professional at this, but you don't sell what are called units anymore. You're not selling albums. The way they do it these days is single in January, single in February, single, EP, extended play. Single, EP, and then they'll release an album. Okay. So, and the reason they do that is stretch it out.
Sure.
Well, I will tell you why.
It's brilliant.
The DSPs,
What's
the
DSP?
digital streaming platforms.
Yeah.
You want to get on radar release or these playlists that Spotify puts out that everyone listens to, and you can only submit one a month. So that's why.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, that's why you release one track at a time. So if you release 6 at a time, you only have a chance of one of those getting on a playlist. So you can't. That's why they do it that way.
Thank you, Phil Spector.
No kidding.
I'm so important.
But here's the other thing too. Yeah. Here's the other thing though I want to know about is that if that single came out, would you go buy? I think that people would go buy a 45 of that single if they were available.
As long as you sold that little thing in the middle that would, put it on the round table.
That was called. You know what it's called?
I do not.
Spindle. A biscuit.
Oh, what did you call it?
Spindle or biscuit?
Spindle or biscuit.
This is the spindle. Yeah. That's the biscuit.
Not having one.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And you try to place it perfectly on.
I took duct tape. I took duct tape to the big. Try to press it. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm wondering also. I just don't because look at as far as money to the musicians goes. 1 million streams, they pay you either 0.003 up to 0.005 cents per stream. That means 1 million streams. 1 million streams gets you $3,000 to $5,000. Average album costs about $300,000 to produce. Yeah. So I understand sort of why the new marketing is, let's sell our music to Netflix, let's sell our music to a movie, and then let's go tour and sell merchandise, because that's the new business model. Mm-hmm. Yep. But I'm just wondering if there's another business model out there. Again, bring back the records along with the digital. Would you?
I mean, I think Taylor, I know, has Taylor Swift has albums available on her website. I think that they're for purchase.
It begs to answer the question: were they making more money now or then? What do you think? Think they're making more money now? I'm not talking about terms. I'm talking about inflation adjusted.
I think then.
You think they were making more money then?
Yeah, with the record stores and the albums stuff.
Not including unless you're Taylor Swift and you're selling out big
Who's
stadiums.
they? The musician?
No, the business, just the business, music business.
The music business.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say
retailers.
I'd say they're making more money now.
What do you think?
Because I think now because of technology.
Yeah.
In the words of Jared Coleman, our Emmy Award-winning director, who listens to me for the last 10 years, remember I always say stocks return to the mean. Say stock prices always return to the mean.
Yeah.
Look at this graphic here. 1980. If you look at the graphic here on terms of what the record sales were, in terms of in 1980, adjusted for inflation, $12 billion. Look what they are today, $15 billion. It's about the same right now as it was then.
Oh,
and that's a tale of the tape. That comes from Statista.
But the CDs when it was highest, interesting.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
In 2000, when it was a CD player, a disc player, that was the way it went.
I just love the
You
sound
had the five. You had the five.
record.
Of the vinyl?
Of a vinyl.
Oh, here we go. I bought that green album with the pink flamingo right in the middle of it, and I went to Tower Records and bought it for Christopher Cross.
Yep.
Big Biz
Great
Show.
song.
So much more coming up. Stand by.
Wherever you are, wherever you're listening, thank you. Welcome back to the Big Biz Show. On a beautiful day here in Southern California, even though we got May Gray, we're living large, Costa.
Oh, yeah.
Marybird Godwin.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Tataroff and Sully.
There you go. So, we were talking earlier today. We were talking earlier about how musical tastes have changed. And how the democratization of music, in other words, being able to release music, causes a huge headache for me as a consumer. I hate it. So I want to continue that conversation still in the program. But the problem is, we were talking about before, is just it creates too much traffic. It used to be when we were kids, you'd go to a record store, it'd say R&B.
Yep.
It would say country.
Yep.
It would say jazz. It would
Punk.
say, or for Mike, it'd say musical theater.
Pretty much.
There's no business.
That was me too. I was there. Music
Flower
Man.
drum song starring Yul Brynner.
That was
Queen and I.
there. Queen.
I Do. The two-man show with Gene. I think, but what's interesting is I interviewed a guy on another show, and he said there's three types of music. There's pop music, there's classical music, and there's jazz. That's it.
And everything
There's
else.
popular music,
Yep.
classical music, and jazz. So country music is popular, right?
Oh, I see.
What about heavy metal?
Popular. It's popular.
I don't.
It's popular with somebody.
Yeah, no, it is.
No.
Not
So what he's
popular
saying,
with me.
what he's saying is there's like retail fan concert music,
Yep.
super alcoholic jazz concert, or
Like nightclub jazz.
Or Tchaikovsky.
Not that kind of nightclub.
Mike
Not
and I like to think of it as La La Land jazz, because we love the movie.
Okay.
Sex. Mike and I sometimes go up to Griffith Observatory on the weekends together, and
And recreate that. little
Why
scene.
not?
Yeah.
Do you wear a yellow dress?
Our wind in our sails.
He doesn't wear a dress; it's dolphin shorts.
Oh yeah.
Joe LaRosa is the founder and CEO of LaRosa Holdings Company. What did he get himself into? Every time Joe comes on, we are gone down.
Every time.
Joe LaRosa Holding Company actually it's called LaRosa Holding Company. They're publicly traded under the stock symbol LRHC. We're going to start covering this company deeply because this is a holding company for a 5-agent-centric, technology-integrated, cloud-based, multi-service real estate company. And you can go to LaRosa, joinlarosa.com. But he joins us once again. You're going to see an awful lot of him. Joe, how are you, sir? Thank you. And I'm sorry once again. You're chasing a rabbit when you walk in the door here. And the man with the greatest hairline of any guest that we've ever had. Hey, for the folks that didn't catch you, because I know that we are running a pilot series now on Bloomberg EU. It's a whole different audience. Can you explain exactly from top to bottom once again, and you'll probably have to do this for a little while too, so everybody kind of understands, what is your revenue model? What is exactly that you, that you do, because you've got 5 segments. So talk about that.
Sure. Yeah, so our main core business is a real estate brokerage model. And so we built in other ancillary services around the LaRosa Realty. We have a very agent disruptive program. we are really offering agents, 100% commission and/or an opportunity to get involved in a revenue share program that we feel is going to be extremely disruptive to the revenue share model in the real estate space. So we're very excited about, kind of where we're heading now here in 2024. We've had some great acquisitions that we've been able to complete since our IPO that we closed back in October. So now as a publicly traded company, we're really starting to expand our footprint now across the United States and globally, really.
So Joe, so explain to us, boots on the ground, real estate agents that attach themselves to you, or deals that attach themselves to you. How does it actually work? Talk to us from A to Z and step by step on mechanics.
Sure. Well, I mean, look, in today's day and age, right, in the real estate industry, there's a lot of changes that are happening, especially with this NAR settlement. Obviously, the market has been somewhat a little bit slower over the last couple of years. So agents are looking for more financial flexibility, right? They're looking for more financial freedom. So because of the fact that our main core business model is to offer agents 100% commission. So agents will pay a monthly subscription. They'll pay basically a flat fee per transaction, and they'll pay a very small annual fee. So they're getting pretty much 100% of their commission, which is giving them a lot of flexibility now when they're working with consumers. And we've just introduced, as I mentioned before, this revenue share model, which is going to allow them, in essence, to build a business now within a business by recruiting other agents and creating a team within La Rosa Realty. So it's going to be able to allow them to supplement some of the potential income maybe that they've lost over the last couple of years because of the current market conditions, or potentially maybe some of this downward pressure that we may expect to see because of this NAR settlement.
And Joe, is it true that also when they sign up with you, they also have access to marketing and social media and all sorts of automated marketing tools that maybe they don't already know or wouldn't be able to have access to?
Yeah, that's why many years ago we were a disruptor in the market, and we obviously intend to continue to be a disruptor as we introduce new programs and new commission plans. But yes, they get everything with us. They get technology, education, websites, apps. They get probably about $7,000 worth of marketing already offered to them as part of our technology suite package. So, what's typically an agent has to give up maybe 30-40% of their commission to be able to get back in return. We're giving it to them basically at 100%. So it's an unbelievable value to the agent.
Joe La Rosa, founder and CEO, La Rosa Holdings Corporation, with us here on the Big Biz Show. Joe, how much does volatility of the market in any area of the country dictate whether you're going to expand into that area or you've got to pull back?
Well, you know what? Because of what's been going on over the last couple of years, it's actually been a benefit to us because your traditional broker-centric models, not to name any of the ones that are out there, but the ones that offer, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 splits, they've had a difficult time over the last couple of years, right? It's just the environment, right? Higher interest rates, low transaction volume. So again, agents are looking for a place where they can keep more of their commission. So we naturally offer that, and that's obviously what gets them in the door. And then when they come into La Rosa and they kind of see that we offer this full suite of technology, education, support, and we have this new revenue share model, it becomes a no-brainer at that point. So believe it or not, the volatility in the market has actually benefited us. Most brokerages have actually seen a decrease in their agent count. We've actually seen an increase over the last 2 years. So we expect moving forward, we'll continue to see that trend.
Hey, Joe, we have a little bit of time left, but I want you to talk about your proprietary technology system. I think you call it JAME, J-A-E-M-E, something like that?
Yeah, so one of the benefits of the delay of our process of going public was we brought on a new CTO, this guy named Alex Santos. He's a phenomenal software developer, coder, and just a great CTO. And so he's developed our full suite of packages now that we intend to roll out over the next couple of years. And one of it is now we introduced a few months back, which is an AI component. And it's a true AI. A lot of companies nowadays will have a chat box on their website, and they'll call that AI. So our program is called Jamie. And agents typically can get a phone call from a client. Client wants them to come by their home later on this evening to talk about maybe listing their house for sale. They can literally take their phone out and talk to Jamie. Say, Jamie, hey, I need a sales comparable analysis, a listing presentation for 123 Main Street. Jamie will actually pull the data from the local MLS and actually provide and create an actual listing presentation for the agent. So it allows the agents to be able to work smarter, not harder. And that's just one example of many things that it does.
Joe, we got to get you in San Diego, buddy. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Come on, Joe. LRHC is their stock symbol, LRHC. Joe La Rosa, founder and CEO, Joe La Rosa. La Rosa.
Now you have me doing it.
I know you. Founder and CEO, La Rosa Holdings Company. LRHC, joinlarosa.com. Great to have him coming up here. Fantastic.
Like margarine on a roll, it is smooth. It's the Big Biz Show. Costa, Marybird Godwin, Greg Todoroff, it's Sully. Here you go.
Mike Costa. Little chocolate donuts. Funyuns. Fire Cheetos and gravy. No, I'm sorry, that's your blood type. That's your blood type. I know your blood. Okay, I'm very excited about our next guest. I don't know if he remembers or not.
Okay.
But he was on the air with us several times in the old studio via Zoom. I learned about Don Saladino. And by the way, if you could pick he has a perfect last name because your last name would be Mike Meatball Adino.
You're right.
Or Mike Mayonnaise Adino.
Mike Morning Gravy.
His is Don Saladino.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Saladino.
He's a coach. He's a fitness entrepreneur, but he is an influencer, and he is one of those guys that makes Ryan Gosling look like I'm not sure if he do Ryan Reynolds look like Ryan Reynolds with his shirt off, which I know that you have as a screensaver, Mike. Long story short, now I was a taco shy of 400 pounds at one point when you and I first met.
Yes.
And I got fit, and then as you get older, it gets harder and harder. He has a program and an app and everything else that comes up, but he's one of these guys that is literally fitness trainer to the stars. And I'm not talking little stars. I'm talking huge stars. I give you Don Saladino. Suck it in. Here he is, right here. What's up, Don?
Hey.
What is he, bro? What's up, man? How are you? Good to see you again. Do you remember coming on with us before?
Yeah. Now you listen. I started hearing the intro, and I'm like, I remember these guys. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Hey, look, can I ask you before, because I want to talk about your products and stuff like that, and I know Mary is probably going to take the interview over after this now that she's seen you. How did you get? Obviously, you're fit. And you know what you're doing, and we'll get to that in just a minute. How did you get your first celebrity gig? Because I know that you trained Blake Lively. I know you trained Ryan Reynolds, and there's a whole. If you go to his website, you can see all of them. How did that? Like, what was the first? Oh, there they are. There you go. Oh, Hugh Jackman. He's a fatty. Oh my God. Look at all of the fit people.
These are all your celebrities.
They're all hideous.
Jake Gyllenhaal. So here's my question for you. How did that start? Because I bet you, I don't take you for the type that goes out there as a look at me guy and goes out there and hunts down celebrities. How did that first happen for you?
No, I got to be honest. The whole celebrity coach angle is it's a bit cringy in my industry. It's no, but honestly, I started as a coach back in '99. I broke off. I started. I opened my own independent training business. I raised $5 million. I opened my own gym. I raised $1.5 million. I started an app company that we called Driven years later. And we were running a golf fitness training facility. We were working with rotational athletes. So I put a lot into my education. I started understanding about digital marketing early on, but I lived in this performance physique world where, I've been on about a dozen covers. I was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness, I think 3 times in the last 4 or 5 years. And I was an athlete, but I also always loved looking a certain way with my shirt off. And I think the first actor was Hugh Jackman. And I met him through luck. It was.
Oh, no kidding. So
no, it was guys, I never sought out to, it's just people are people. Like I like taking on projects. It's fun for me when someone comes to me with a goal in mind. And to be honest with you, when someone comes in and they're like, I have 2 months, I have 3 months, I typically am always like, oh God, here we go. But, it's part of the job.
Oh my God, look at this.
Yeah, I believe in long-term investments. I believe in, working with people and getting them in shape and teaching them how to do these things over time.
I have another question for you. And I can do this from experience because I've seen your stuff. I've been on your I think it's an app, if I'm not mistaken. Is it still an app that you still have?
Yeah, so DonSaladino.com. I mean, we have an app. We have challenges, which I think are fantastic because
the one thing is that you take an approach that one size does not fit all, which I think is really, really interesting in the fitness business because so many people say, okay, do this, and you don't do that. You're able to take an individual approach with the masses. How the heck did you figure that out?
Yeah, I mean, listen, first off, I never try and sell anyone anything. If you want to go to my site, I've got a free program on there. Take advantage of it. It's always what I tell people to do, to just kind of learn how I like to operate and get them working. But yeah, I mean, this is training someone is working with an individual. It's figuring out a puzzle. It's every single person's different. We sleep differently. We have different stressors in our life. We can move differently. And you know what? We have different triggers, right? So I think it's something where when someone is really struggling to want it, they I'm not going to turn around and throw the kitchen sink at them. So sometimes it might be where I'm designing a 20-minute program, I'm getting them moving, I'm building confidence. And then when they start seeing success, they start asking me those magic words, what's next? And that's a beautiful thing.
Don Saladino, coach and fitness entrepreneur with us here on BBS. And Don, for the record, I have a Ryan Reynolds poster above my bed. It is not a screensaver. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. I go to the beach and people call Greenpeace and they want to roll me back in the water. I mean, like the first thing you have to...
Did you hear what he said? He goes, I want to look a certain way with your shirt off. When's the last time you looked at yourself with your shirt off?
God. That's why we don't have mirrors in our house.
Don, we're going to fly you in.
Yeah.
You're going to come stay here for a couple of weeks.
Don, number one thing when somebody comes to you, like you said, I got 3 months, I got to get ready for this role, I got to cut down and just get rocked or whatever. What do you have to establish first? Is it metabolism? Is it body index? What do you have to immediately go to?
I think the first thing I do is we try and figure out, what are we trying to create? So, if it's and you said getting ready for their wedding dress. Yeah, look, what does this person envision themselves looking like? Or the actor, or if they're playing a role in a movie, what is this character that they have in mind that they have to become? That's what I think a lot of people don't realize, is that when I'm training someone to look a certain way and feel a certain way, it's because they have to act like this character. So if they're going and acting like Wolverine and they're 130 pounds soaking wet, they're not really going to be able to portray the believability of that character. So I think the first thing I do is I sit down with them and we'll go on, Google, we'll go on the internet and we'll look at pictures. I remember one time, I think I sat with, it might have been Liev Schreiber, where he had to look like almost like this Russian shot putter for a specific role that he was playing. He wasn't playing a Russian shot putter, but that was the character, that was the athlete that he pulled up on the screen. And then that gives me an idea of what are we working with, and what do we need to try and become? And then from there, it's understanding their tendencies, their nutrition, their training, their rest. And then based off of that, then I design a program. That's where the magic is I'll kind of make my assumption of what they need. And then throughout the way, I'm making adjustments to create this character. I'll be honest, sometimes I go into roles and I'm like, all right, well, we don't have to do much. And they're like, yeah, you're right. You've got 3 months. They're only training 3 days a week. Their physique's already there. We just want to send them off to that role, to act in that role, to where their body's resilient and it doesn't break down. So I've done it all. I've had people had a gain muscle, lose muscle, put on body fat, lose body fat. I mean, I've trained over 40,000 sessions in my life. Wow. So I think understanding, now to take this globally and deliver this to the masses, it's very easy because I'm very patient and I like working with each individual. So if I have 1,000 people in my challenges a month, yeah, they'll be, all of them will tell you. I speak to all of them through Facebook, or I'm putting up videos every morning. It's me actually coaching. I think that's where a lot of the magic comes from.
How do you kind of weed through that? Are there any misconceptions flying around right now that we kind of need to be aware of? And then also for me, where does age play into it? When you're working with someone that's crossed a certain age.
Who may be 30 years old.
30, example, 30 plus a few. But does that change what then a body should be doing and the workouts?
Well, let's start with the age. I mean, you're a lot younger than I am. So, I think we're at, I've got a lot. She's shaking her head. No, I just turned 47 about 2 weeks ago. So I think you're in a good place. Yeah, listen, does age have something to do with it? I think training volume, training intensity, I think we have to understand that your body's going to recover a bit differently, but you could still, I feel like I'm in the best shape I've been in my life. Now, do I need to think about things differently? Recovery, mobility, 100%. Am I waiving the intensity of my workouts? 100%. Am I paying more attention to sleep now than I was when I was 25? 100%. So I think I've worked with people, into their late 80s. I had one gentleman at, I think 74 years old, was doing sets of 10 on the pull-up. I mean, there is hope for all of us. We're all getting older, inevitable. But I think what starts happening is we give up. And we're under these, well, I'm getting older. Well, we're all getting older. My 15-year-old son's getting older. But I think it's how we approach it. How smart are we with our nutrition? Are we minimizing, alcohol consumption, doing things that are going to pay dividends? So question number one is 100%. It does make a difference when you're working with someone who's a bit more, I like to use the word seasoned, guys.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
There's no reason why we can't set, I call them PRs, personal records, when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I've done it. I'm living proof with the people that I've worked with.
Don, real quickly, before I let you out of here, first of all, we're at 125 million TV homes across the U.S. weeknights. We just picked up Bloomberg Financiero in Mexico, and we're doing a pilot series for Bloomberg EU. big giant addressable audience here. I want them to know how they can work with you. They can go to donsaladino.com. But what do you offer there? Because I hope you'll come back with us on a regular basis. And I'm happy to promote it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, listen, appreciate it. Very simply, donsaladino.com. Go on there, download my free program. Let's just start there. Download my free program, use it. It's body weight only. I have challenges. I have programs that sell globally.
Well, good. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. We're going into a Friday tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yep. John, we'll see you very soon.
I want to spend a month with him straight.
Yeah.
I just go up there and live with him for a month.
They say abs are made in the kitchen. I believe that 100%. Don't you, Mike? Or in the 7-Eleven.
Or destroyed in the kitchen.
There you go.
Coming up next, Amit Kumar. We're going to talk about breast cancer. Stand by.
Big Biz Show from the Loft 100 Studios in somewhat gray Southern California. Glad you're with us for the ride as always. Costa, Marybird Godwin, our executive producer is Greg Todorov.
There he is.
And the man right there. Oh, what you got in your hand? What you got in your hands?
Oh, me? I just have a. There you go. I've got a little bit of Armed Forces Brewing Company. What am I drinking today? I think it's. I got Preamble. That Preamble?
Oh yeah. Shot.
No, I got Cat Shot. I love Preamble though. You got Preamble there.
Awesome.
Alan Beal's with us today.
Love
Beal
Alan
is
Beal.
the proprietor, CEO of Armed Forces Brewing Company. He has become a regular guest. I'm trying to convince him to sponsor the whole studio for us because we are now in we're 120 million U.S. homes. Another 15 million in Financiero, Bloomberg in Mexico, and we just got another 25 million that we are starting up in Europe. So
They drink beer in Europe.
They do. I love the names of your beer, dude. I like, first of all, Grunt approved. So he's got Armed Forces Grunt. He's got Armed Forces Special Hops, not Special Ops. He's got the Preamble, of course, We the People.
Yep.
And then he's got, of course, this. I want him to explain Cat Shot for me. So let's, Alan, before we talk, let's talk about Cat Shot for us.
Well, hey guys, thanks for having me on. What's up, team?
Good to see you. What is Cat Shot? Am I missing something here?
No, not at all. So Cat Shot is short for catapult shot.
Oh,
off
I thought
an
it was
aircraft carrier.
So there was the OP shorts as a kid. I had also Catch It. Do you remember that brand? Do you remember that brand? Catch It.
I thought Cat Shot was
Hey, nice Catch It's.
Beer for felines.
No,
good to know.
I thought he was. But there was a brand called Catch It.
I remember Catch It.
I'm thinking it didn't last long. By the way.
That's right. Did I
Hey, you can't say it, can you?
That was it, Mary.
Can't say it.
By the way,
I'll
hey,
just
Alan,
say it like it is.
Alan, she's your spokesperson. Just want to let you know. So when you partner up with us someday, that's your face. That's your girl.
Yeah.
That's her. She's gonna be one of those little outfits. Hey, talk to us a little bit for the folks that have not heard your story, since we're many other places that we weren't, about the road that took you into Armed Forces Brewing Company, and the fact that you are moving this needle along in sort of an interesting way. You're not actually publicly traded. However, you are employee owned and you have investors and such. So talk about that.
We do, and anybody wants to own the brewing company with us can go to ownarmedforcesbrewingco.com. We've got over 10,400 plus shareholders in our company. We've raised $7.5 million, and we bought our own brewing facility in Norfolk, Virginia. We're going to make our way out west. We've got national demand for our beer. And team, our beer, we just made it into NASCAR concessions at Talladega. We were there for the Geico 500.
Awesome.
Our Preamble beer sold out halfway through the race.
No way.
Alan,
Way.
See what a good spokesperson I am?
Alan, you're connecting with Americans. You're connecting with beer consumers at a point where it seems that a lot of people who live in this country hate America. Your timing could not be more perfect.
We love the military. We love our country. We love patriotism. We love our veterans. And this beer company is for all of the above that I just talked about. And you guys are in a great military market there in San Diego, California. We can't wait to get out to your guys' area as well.
Yeah, we need this on the USS Midway,
Everywhere.
Miramar, Camp Pendleton.
Petco.
Well, could you imagine though this at every commissary
right.
in the country? Have you thought about that as a distribution point, Alan?
So we're on a national plan with AAFES and NEXCOM and Coast Guard Exchange. So any state we open up, their office flips on a switch, and you'll see our beer in those stores.
Alan, the company is also just incredible with the way you guys, the different ways that Armed Forces Brewing gives back to the veterans. Can you talk about that?
Sure. We literally just got back from the Texas border at Eagle Pass. We fed about 850 Texas National Guard troops and border security personnel that are down there working around the clock to keep our border safe. They've been down there since 2022. We're doing the same thing over in Arizona here next month, and we're coming to your guys' area in California soon. We have a big focus on veteran homelessness. You know, where I live in Norfolk, Virginia, one of the largest military markets in the country as well, right across the board, all of our active duty troops experience, 25% of our active duty military troops experience food insecurity.
Wow.
I come from a military family. My mom had 5 kids. We went through, I don't know how many deployments. I remember that. That speaks to me. Jeez. And we want to use our success to give back and help active duty military families. We fed 97 of them over the holidays.
It makes me and Mike feel even worse about that because we have insecurity from food. So you know, our problems are problems.
I played the aircraft carrier in Top Gun too.
Hey, hey, Alan, can you talk about? Let's get into the business real quick here. So, how many states are you in currently? You might have mentioned that, but I missed it. But how many states are you currently in, and where are you going? All 50 states? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, we're in 10 right now. We're going to gradually, grow into all 50 states and export our beer to overseas base stores with AAFES and NEXCOM, and we'll go into the civilian distribution overseas as well. We have that big of a demand.
What is it like for you when you have to head into a let's say a retailer or a distribution company? Because we've done a deep dive in past years on distribution for alcoholic beverages, and it seems like it's a cartel whereby many folks who are brewers can make $5 a beer across the counter, but only make $5 a case because the distribution sort of cartel. And I don't want to put you in a bad position, but is the distribution thing challenging for you?
Man, I wish we made $5 a case. I'll tell you what, this company, and I've been in the industry for a long time, the food and beverage industry for 35 plus years. We've got veterans and veterans of the beer industry working in our company that have been in this industry for 30 plus years. What we're doing is unheard of. The way that the distributors and the chains have just welcomed our brand in. Walmart, Publix, Winn-Dixie. I know these are a lot of East Coast regional chains, but we're in 900 Publix stores now over here on the East Coast.
Wow.
We're going to duplicate that out in your guys' area and across the country, but they love our brand, they love our messaging, they love our mission, and they love the beer. They all taste the beer. We've got an award-winning brewmaster in Bob Ruprecht, who's won the Maryland Governor's Cup for brewing excellence. We're making really good mainstream craft beer.
Well, listen, Alan, we need to get you in San Diego at some point because we'd love to see you. Maybe shoot some B-roll footage with you over at Camp Pendleton and stuff like that, because
absolutely.
I'll tell you, we are behind your brand, Armed Forces Brewing Company. Go to armedforcesbrewingcompany.com. Go check it out. And, or 757-900-FBC.
If you want to invest.
There you go. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Come on, Mike.
What's your favorite?
Let's start stacking these cases up. Let's go. My goodness.